craft detailed and emotionally resonant mental images. We lay the foundation for authentic emotional expression. It's akin to creating a personal theater where the sights, sounds, smells, and textures heighten our emotional capacity. One effective method I champion involves combining imagination with specific emotional preparation. For this, I encourage actors to visit emotionalpreparation.com, a valuable resource that guides performers through anchoring their emotional states before stepping onto the stage or set. This preparation is not mere technique. It's a sacred ritual that primes the actor's emotional core, making it more accessible through the power of imagination. In my other acting books available on Amazon, I delve deeper into these techniques. For example, in The Actor's Imagination, I explore how developing a rich inner life allows actors to seamlessly evoke a spectrum of emotions. Whether it's imagining a poignant moment from your own past or envisioning the vivid details of a scene, these mental images act as emotional triggers that animate your portrayal. Remember, the goal is not to fake emotion, but to awaken the genuine feeling buried beneath your imagination's fertile soil. Practically speaking, I recommend exercises such as sensory immersion, bringing to life a scene by imagining every detail in your mind's eye. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, smell the scents. The more vivid and specific your mental images, the more accessible the emotion becomes. Over time, this process trains your emotional responses to be spontaneous and truthful. In essence, using imagination in acting is about trusting your inner world and allowing it to resonate with your character's journey. When approached with sincerity and discipline, it transforms the craft, enabling you to deliver performances that are not only convincing but profoundly moving. To embody true emotional truth, we must harness the boundless power of our imagination and let it guide us to authentic expression. Now in this first part, we are discussing 5 things of techniques for developing imagination, unlocking the actor's inner world. One of the greatest gifts an actor can cultivate is a vibrant, reliable imagination, a vast inner landscape that fuels emotional truth and compelling storytelling. Developing your imagination isn't a magical gift bestowed upon a few. It's a skill that can be nurtured, refined, and expanded through deliberate practice. In my work, I emphasize that a fully developed imagination becomes the engine that drives authentic emotion and truthful performance. Be sure to visit emotionalpreparation.com, where I have hundreds of emotions. A foundational step is understanding that imagination is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger and more versatile it becomes. Here are some practical, effective techniques to help you harness and expand your imaginative capacity. 1. Sensory imagination exercises. Start by vividly imagining a simple scene. Now, look, everyone uses imagination. Don't worry about the title of the label. If you use your emotions, your senses are going to feel it. So imagine, perhaps a peaceful beach at sunset or a bustling marketplace. Engage every sense. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents, and even taste the air. The goal is to create a detailed, mental environment that inhabits your mind. When you immerse yourself fully, your emotional response deepens naturally. This exercise trains your brain to conjure specific, evocative images that can serve as emotional triggers during performance. 2. Visualization and scene creation. Visualize a pivotal moment from your life or imagine history, what you saw, heard, and felt. Create a mental film with rich detail. As you refine this image, imagine yourself stepping into the scene, interacting with the environment and other characters. This process strengthens your ability to conjure detailed, emotionally charged worlds that ground your acting. 3. Using imagination to re-experience emotions. Recall a moment when you experienced a strong emotion, joy, sorrow, anger. Then imagine it happening again, but set within a different context. Expand this feeling using sensory details and environment. The aim is to create a flexible emotional reservoir that you can access at will, which is especially useful in performance. 4. The character's world technique. Before stepping into a role, craft an entire world for your character. Imagine their daily routines, surroundings, relationships, and inner conflicts. Visualize their life story from childhood to present. The richer and more detailed the imagined world, the more naturally your emotions will emerge when you embody the character. 5. Imagination journaling. Dedicate time to journaling your imagined worlds, scenarios, and character backstories. Writing helps solidify your mental images and explore new imaginative pathways. Over time, this discipline enlarges your creative and emotional palette. In my work, I often recommend integrating these techniques with emotionalpreparation.com, a valuable resource that guides actors through foundational emotional work. When combined with a vivid imagination, emotional preparation allows you to access raw, authentic feelings more readily, creating performances that resonate deeply with audiences. My other acting books on Amazon expand on these principles, offering detailed exercises and insights. For example, in The Actor's Imagination, I explore how the imagination is the key to unlocking that vital emotional truth. In Deepening Character, I discuss how imagining a character's inner life fuels genuine responses. The more you invest in developing your inner world, the more fluid and authentic your performances become. Remember, developing a powerful imagination is an ongoing journey. It requires curiosity, patience, and openness to explore new worlds within your mind. With consistent practice, your ability to conjure vivid mental images and thereby activate genuine emotion will enhance every performance. Trust that within your imagination lies limitless potential to connect more profoundly with your craft, yourself, and your audience. Keep exploring, keep imagining, and your acting will thrive. Now let's go through this topic of enhance emotional authenticity, the heart of true acting. Authentic emotion is the heartbeat of compelling acting. No matter how technically precise or visually stunning a performance appears, if the emotion isn't genuine, it falls flat. Enhancing emotional authenticity is about creating performances that resonate deeply with audiences. Performances rooted in truth, vulnerability, and honesty. The good news? It's a skill you can develop and refine through dedicated practice, especially when you fuse imagination with solid emotional preparation. In my work, I emphasize that authenticity blossoms when you harness your imagination to dive beneath surface feelings and access the core of your emotional life. But to do so effectively, you need tools and techniques that help you peel away discomfort and hesitation, making space for believable, heartfelt responses. 1. Connecting through internal availability. One of the first steps in enhancing authenticity is cultivating what I call internal availability, a mental and emotional state where you're open, receptive, and free from protective walls. When you're willing to be vulnerable, your performance becomes more truthful. This openness begins with consistent emotional preparation, such as the exercises I detail at emotionalpreparation.com. This site offers structured approaches to ground yourself emotionally before performances, reducing anxiety and creating a fertile environment for genuine expression. 2. Deepening the emotional memory. Emotional memory is a powerful tool, but must be used with care to maintain authenticity. The technique involves recalling a specific, visceral experience from your past that mirrors the emotional truth of the scene. The key is to re-experience the emotion vividly and honestly, not to fake or force it. With practice, this process becomes more spontaneous, allowing the feeling to naturally surface when triggered by your imagination or dialogue. 3. Sensory and physical anchors. Authentic emotion often arises when your body and senses are engaged fully. Techniques like focusing on a particular physical sensation, say, the tightness of grief, the warmth of love, or the defensiveness of fear, help anchor your emotional state. These sensory cues act as emotional triggers, making your responses more spontaneous and believable. My other acting books on Amazon, such as Body and Voice and The Performer's Toolkit, delve into using physicality and sensory awareness to deepen emotional truth. 4. The power of reimagining. Using the imagination to explore different scenarios, what I teach extensively, is essential for authentic acting. By vividly imagining a scene, environment, or interaction, you begin to internalize the moment in a way that feels real. Over time, this imagination becomes a reliable source of genuine emotion, especially when combined with emotional preparation and physical anchoring. 5. Listening and responding. Authenticity isn't just about self-reflection. It's also about truly listening, paying full attention to your scene partner, and responding from an honest interior space. When you're tuned in, your emotional responses are more spontaneous and authentic. Engaging actively with your partner enables the emotional truth to unfold naturally, without forcing or contrivance. 6. Cultivating self-compassion. Authentic acting also requires a gentle, compassionate attitude toward oneself. It's normal to feel vulnerable or unsure at times. By practicing self-compassion, you remove the inner critic and create a safe space for true emotion to emerge. Combining this attitude with the techniques at emotionalpreparation.com and your daily acting practice creates a resilient emotional foundation. In my books, I emphasize that enhanced emotional authenticity isn't an accident, it's a craft. It comes from developing a keen awareness of your inner life, cultivating trust in your emotional processes, and allowing your imagination to serve as a bridge between inner experience and outward expression. When you marry imagination with emotional readiness, your performances will resonate with depth, honesty, and immediacy. Remember, authenticity is the ultimate goal. Okay, so we're learning together, and I like that. Now, let's look at the role of imagination in connecting personal experience. As actors, our most compelling performances often stem from a deep connection to our own lives. Personal experience acts as the raw material, a wellspring of emotion, insight, and truth that can elevate a scene from merely performed to genuinely felt. Yet, translating lived moments into authentic acting isn't always straightforward. That's where the potent tool of imagination comes in. When skillfully applied, imagination bridges the gap between your inner world and the character's reality, creating a seamless and heartfelt connection. In my work, I emphasize that imagination isn't just about conjuring fictional worlds. It's a powerful means of accessing, understanding, and transforming your personal experiences into theatrical truth. The key is to use your imagination as a lens, viewing your life through the lens of the character, and vice versa. This process fosters a rich, empathetic understanding that breathes new life into your performances. Connecting the dots of personal experience with imagination starts with a clear awareness of your own emotional memories. Think of these memories as emotional landmarks, powerful moments from your past that, with gentle re-examination, can serve as authentic entry points into the character's emotional landscape. But how do you effectively use imagination to make this connection? 1. Embody the scene's arc through visualization. Begin by vividly visualizing the scene's circumstances, what is happening, who is involved, and what the stakes are. Then, imagine yourself stepping into your own life at a moment when you experienced a similar feeling. For example, if your scene involves grief, recall a personal loss, focusing on the sensory details, what you saw, heard, and felt. The more specific and grounded in your reality, the more believable your emotional response becomes. 2. Reframe personal memories in the storyline's context. Sometimes a personal experience feels distant or disconnected from a scene. Use your imagination to reframe that experience. See it from your character's perspective, applying their circumstances and worldview to your memory. By doing so, you allow your personal truth to blend seamlessly with the characters, creating a layered, authentic emotional connection. 3. Develop personal backstories and inner worlds. Creating detailed backstories for your characters helps parallel your own life with theirs. Write or visualize their history, motives, and dreams. As you do so, tap into your imagination to connect these aspects with your own experiences. For example, Imagining your character's childhood hope or fear can illuminate your own, revealing emotional truths you might not have consciously accessed before. 4. Practice emotional memory with a creative twist. Recall an emotional memory from your past, then deliberately reimagine it, adding new details, textures, or outcomes. This playful re-engagement with your memories invites fresh emotional responses, making them more accessible and genuine during performance. In all these processes, emotionalpreparation.com provides valuable exercises to prepare your emotional ground before stepping onto the stage or set. When combined with imaginative visualization, emotional grounding creates a robust foundation for authentic connection. My other acting books on Amazon, such as The Actor's Imagination and Deepen Your Performance, delve deeper into these techniques, offering practical steps to turn personal experience into compelling, truthful acting. Remember, imagination is your bridge, connecting what you have lived with what you are portraying. It transforms personal memories into universal truths that resonate deeply with audiences. When you learn to harness your imaginative power wisely, your personal experience becomes an endless well of authenticity, empathy, and emotional richness. Use your imagination, not as a way to escape reality, but as a way to deepen and articulate your truth in every performance. Now, let's discuss how practical exercises for using imagination to activate emotion. Harnessing the power of imagination to spark authentic emotion isn't just a conceptual idea. It's a practical skill that can be cultivated through specific exercises. When consistently practiced, these exercises build your capacity to conjure vivid mental images and evoke genuine feelings on demand. As actors, our goal is to make the imaginary feel real, and these exercises are designed to do just that. 1. Sensory immersion exercise. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Think of a scene, perhaps a moment of deep grief or joyful celebration. Immerse yourself fully by imagining every sensory detail, the textures, smells, sounds, and visuals. For example, if recalling a happy memory, imagine the warmth of the sun on your skin, the scent of blooming flowers, the laughter of friends. Engage your senses deliberately to create a rich, immersive experience. Repeat daily, gradually increasing the emotional intensity so that your imagined scene can trigger real feelings. 2. The memory expansion technique. Recall a personal experience that evokes a strong emotion, anger, love, sadness. Visualize that memory vividly, then consciously expand on it. Add details, change outcomes, or even imagine what might have happened if circumstances were different. For instance, if you remember a time you felt pride, imagine what led to that moment, what you saw, heard, and felt. Making the memory richer and more detailed allows your imagination to deepen the emotional response, which can be accessed effortlessly during performance. 3. Scene visualization with inner dialogue. Choose a scene from your script or create a hypothetical one. Visualize it as a mental movie. See yourself performing in it. Now, add internal dialogue. What are your thoughts, judgments, or fears as the scene unfolds? This inner self-talk anchors your emotional response and makes it more immediate. Practice this daily, experimenting with different emotional states, so your imagination becomes a versatile tool for authentic emotional access. 4. The what-if scenario. Use the classic what-if technique. Imagine how you would feel if certain circumstances were true. For example, what if I lost someone I loved? Or what if I was falsely accused? Vividly imagine yourself in that situation, considering all sensory impressions and internal reactions. This technique sparks spontaneous emotion because it directly involves your imagination. Your mind creates the scene, and your feelings follow naturally. 5. Character mind mapping. Create a detailed mental map of your character's inner world. Visualize their childhood home, important people, pivotal moments, and dreams. Then, imagine yourself living their life, feeling what they would feel in each scenario. Use your imagination to fill in gaps. What do they smell, see, and hear? This process connects your personal experience with the character's emotional landscape, making your performance more truthful. All these exercises can be enhanced with routine emotional grounding through tools like emotional preparation. Calm, which offers structured exercises to help you access and stabilize emotional states before performance. Combining imagination with emotional preparation creates a powerful synergy, making your emotional responses more spontaneous and genuine. My other acting books on Amazon, including Deepen Your Performance and The Actor's Imagination, provide further structured exercises and insights to help you cultivate a vibrant inner life. When practiced regularly, these exercises ensure your imagination becomes a reliable resource, one that can evoke honest, authentic emotion at a moment's notice. Remember, consistency is key. The more you practice these exercises, the more natural it becomes to slip into the imagined world and access real emotion. Use your imagination intentionally, and watch how your performances become more truthful, vibrant, and compelling. Authenticity is rooted in your ability to visualize vividly, feel deeply, and live fully within your imagined worlds. Engage in these exercises daily, and let your imagination serve as the bridge to your most authentic acting. Finally, we have gotten to the summary of Use Imagination to Activate Emotion, and we have learned a heck of a lot already. In my approach to acting, I believe that the most compelling performances arise from a sincere connection to genuine emotion. But how do we access that raw, heartfelt feeling consistently? The answer lies in harnessing the incredible power of our imagination. Use Imagination to Activate Emotion explores how actors can intentionally cultivate their inner worlds, creating vivid mental images and scenarios that unlock authentic emotional responses. The core premise is simple yet profound. Imagination is not a fanciful escape, but a vital tool for emotional truth. When you vividly imagine a moment, a scene, or a memory with detail and sensory richness, your brain begins to react as if it's experiencing that scene for real. This triggers the same emotional responses you would have in real life: fear, joy, anger, love, allowing you to perform from a place of honesty rather than pretense. Throughout the book, I emphasize that developing this skill requires deliberate practice. Techniques such as sensory immersion, engaging all 5 senses in your visualization, are vital. For instance, imagining a scene of loss involves not only seeing it in your mind's eye, but also hearing the sounds, feeling the textures, and smelling the scents associated with that moment. Over time, this vividness becomes a reliable means of accessing emotion on cue. I also highlight the importance of emotional preparation, which can further amplify the effectiveness of your imagination. At emotionalpreparation.com, actors find structured exercises and mental routines to ground and ready themselves emotionally before stepping on a stage or set. Combining this grounding with detailed visualization allows for the spontaneous emergence of truthful emotion, more nuanced, spontaneous, and convincing. Another essential aspect I explore is the reimagining of personal experiences. Personal memories are a treasure trove of genuine emotion, but they need to be accessed consciously and creatively. By revisiting a memory and enriching it with sensory detail or imagining different outcomes, you deepen the emotional impact and make it more accessible during performance. In my other books on Amazon, such as The Actor's Imagination and Deepening Performance, I delve into practical exercises that help you strengthen your imaginative capacity. These exercises train you to create mental landscapes that feel real, making the emotional responses automatic and natural rather than forced. Use imagination to activate emotion underscores that your inner world is your greatest resource. When you learn to vividly imagine scenes and circumstances, you dramatically expand your emotional palette, allowing your performances to resonate with authenticity. The more you practice, the more these techniques become second nature. Your imagination becomes a powerful ally in truthful acting. Ultimately, this book is an invitation for actors to unlock the full potential of their imagination, understanding that every scene, every emotion begins in the mind. Use your imagination consciously, ground it with emotional preparation, and watch as your performances gain depth, spontaneity, and genuine heartfelt truth.